My name is Carlene from Standpipe Antiques.
And I'm Cassie, I'm from PS Relics.
And we're here in Belton, South Carolina, and we're starting a vlog, not starting this over for the 15th time.
We'll just cut this out.
Right? We're starting a vlog on the how-tos and techniques available using the products that we have here at Standpipe Antiques. And today we're going to do the first video, which is what we actually carry and the differences between them. Yep, there you go.
See it? There you go.
So we have two different kinds of paint here in the shop. We carry both DIY and Dixie Belle. Okay. There are two different kinds of chalk mineral paint.
Sorry, that was all in your face.
No, that's fine. It's prettier that way. No. So the first kind of paint of Dixie Belle is actually considered a chalk mineral paint, and DIY
is chalk and clay.
Is a clay-based chalk mineral paint. The other thing we carry is a lot of IOD products, Iron Orchid designs. So the nice thing about both these paints, one of the biggest differences between these two is that this one does not require a top coat. Dixie Belle doesn't require a top coat. It is a more traditional chalk mineral paint, whereas DIY requires a top coat and it's water distressable, which is part of its problem and also part of the awesome things that you can do with it. The reason why you can do those awesome things is because it's water distressable. So one of the things about DIY is that because of its clay-based nature, it dries very light in comparison to what's actually in the can. But when you put that top coat on, it turns dark. And there's a couple different cool techniques you can do to give it a texture using a top coat, which we'll discuss in future videos. Okay, now, so some of the accessories that can be used with DIY, or some of the top coats, let's go over top coats first. Some of the top coats, what kind of top coats have you used in your painting before?
Wax.
Wax, okay.
It's wax top coat?
Exactly. Wax is a very common top coat for DIY. There's actually waxes from both companies. Dixie Belle produces a wax. DIY produces a wax. I have used both. I have found them both to be excellent waxes. So you've got choices. The nice thing about these waxes is that although they're very high quality, they're also thinned out. They're smooth. They're, you're going to have to come up with some words for me. They're loose, silky. Silky? Is silky a good one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Silky? Silky a good one? Okay, silky's a good one. They're smooth and silky, and they're built specifically to be used over chalk paint, since you can't really rub heavily on chalk paint when it's first put on. These are available in the store in many different colors. You've got dark, which is a brown. For those people who like brown. Do you like brown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, matches well.
Oh man, some people. You have white, you have black, you've got gray, and you've got clear. Clear obviously is colorless. It's just, you know, you put it on, you're done. Next.
Should be following you around.
You should be. Here, you hold these.
No, I mean the camera should be.
Oh, the camera? Yes, we're going to have to figure that out. Okay, some of the other top coats you can use are things such as Big Top from DIY. It's a nice top coat. It's kind of a poly, and you can actually use a polyacrylic and a polyurethane. I'll discuss that in a moment, what the problem with polyurethane is. You can also use Gator Hide. This is one of my favorite top coats. I use this over both DIY and Dixie Belle. It's a water repellent top coat. It's very thin, so you have to keep that in mind. I'll discuss that in a minute.
This is a clear coat in flat and a clear coat in satin. So if you want a flatter, like a really non-lustrous flat look, you can use this one. And if you want something that's got a little more of a sheen, it's easier to wipe off, the satin works really good for that one.
Chalk paint is matte by nature, so that's one of its draws, is that it's a very matte finish. The waxes keep that matte finish mostly. The clear coats tend to keep between a matte and a satin, and if you want a little glossier, you can. Thank you. You can go a little glossier, but matte is the finish of choice for most people who chalk paint. Now, you can use polyacrylic, just regular old plain old polyacrylic. That's what most of those finishes from DIY and Dixie Belle are, basically a poly type coat. Polyacrylic that you would get in a local home improvement store is a little thicker, so you do have to keep that in mind. One of the other things you can use is polyurethanes, for instance, if you want to put it outside. The issue with polyurethane is the oil-based nature of that coat sometimes interacts with the chalk paint and causes problems. So a trick to that is to do an initial coat with a water-based poly, such as Big Top or Gator Hide, and then go over it with your oil-based poly coat, so that it prevents that movement that you get with some of the oil-based polys over chalk paint. Now, one of the other issues with oil-based that you don't get with water-based, it's yellow. You can't do it over white, or you will have light brown. Sorry. So, both DIY, which has liquid patina, and Dixie Belle, which has glazes, these can also be used as a top coat, and they add color. DIY has, well, the liquid patina is kind of a pearlescent. It's a regular liquid patina is a pearlescent. They also have dark and decrepit, which is a really nice brown, gives it a dark and decrepit look. It's actually very goth. You know, it's nice. In the glazes from Dixie Belle, there are 7 colors. Blue, red, brown, they're all different colors. They're not named that. You have Hi-Ho Silver, for instance, Van Dyke Brown. The red is called Copper Brown. It's kind of red, coppery brown. Blue is Sapphire Pearl. So each one has its own name, and each one is beautiful. Depends upon what look you're going for. So other accessories that can be used with the Dixie Belle and DIY paints, you have mud, which is a Dixie Belle product. You have dirts, which both DIY just recently came out with their dirt, with their decrepit dust, such as this here. They have a white, which is nice. Dixie Belle has also has dust. Dust you put in the wax coat, and what it does is it gives it a deliberate been in the dirt for too long look. So it can be a really nice addition to making a piece look worn and chic. Now, some of the other things that can be done, you have sea spray, which gives the paint a chunky look. You can sculpt it. This is really good for surfaces, for not surfaces you're going to put stuff on necessarily, but other surfaces that you want a textured look for it. That's what the sea spray is for, that you can get a really nice textured look with that. As I said, carry IOD products. We have the IOD clay and the molds. Debbie, in Debbie's design diary, she uses a lot of molds. It absolutely adds texture to a piece that doesn't necessarily have any. If you have very flat surfaces, these are awesome. And there are several different kinds of air dry clay. You can even go to a local craft store and get a paper clay. You can they have an air dry clay. IOD has an air dry clay. A lot of these products are more of a preference. Some do work better than others. A lot of them, however, is what is it that you feel comfortable with? What is it that you're familiar with? Everything is slightly different from everything else. The other surface technique, of course, you have our stamps. I use DIY for my stamps, Dixie Belle for my surface. a lot of times, because DIY, one of the benefits of a clay-based is that it will wash off, again, the water distressable. One of the benefits, it will wash off those stamps really easily. Don't have to scrub them, don't have to do anything to them. I can do some color techniques on the stamps and not have to worry about how fast I'm going, because once the paint is on there, I can just spritz it with water and stamp it on my piece and not have to worry about it drying. Again, techniques for further videos, future videos. There's also transfers. Transfers, you have a painted piece, you smooth the transfer on, it makes it, I don't know, like wallpapered. It's awesome. So talk about that in a future video as well.
Foils.
Huh?
Foils.
Oh yeah, and the foils. Some of the other products we have are things like, there you go. That shows you how short she is. Foils. Foils are awesome. If you want to gild a piece, put a little glue on, put the foil on, you could, there you are. Amazing. You can do all sorts of really cool techniques using foils over the top of the paint, just like you can with the metallics from Dixie Belle. Now, but Dixie Belle just came out with a couple of new colors. Like, OMG, they're so beautiful.
Moonshine.
Yeah, this is not one of the new colors. Can you get that deep woods? Rosé is a nice little rosé. I love metallics. I like mixing my metallics with my paints to give it a sheen. Deep woods, one of their new metallics. Look at that green.
We're like greens today, apparently.
I am moving more towards greens lately, yes.
It's the end of winter color.
Yeah, apparently it's my spring color. We don't have winter here in the South. Metallic green, deep woods. It's beautiful. That's one of their new colors of metallics. So the some of the products that I have painted here, and we actually have a couple people that do chalk paint. This, including Cassie, this is a nut bowl. It was a wood nut bowl from the 1980s, and I painted it up with, this is in the navy with the cotton. This has a gator hide coat over it, so that if you put nuts in here, if you need to wipe it down, you don't have to worry about it. One of the nice things about the waxes is that they are high quality, food safe waxes, so that makes it nice. Bowls like this, when you do wood, not the only surface that you can paint. This is plaster. Okay, I painted it up, made it look pretty. This is using both DIY and Dixie Belle. This is actually a DIY mixed paint color to make it nice and pink. I was on a pink mood. Don't ask. Make it nice and pink, and then I put a whitewash over the top of it with Dixie Belle, and that's this piece. We have candle holders, of course, always look good. This one here, okay, is a rocking horse done by, she used DIY Yankee Blue. She used DIY Yankee Blue and then put a black wax directly over this. That's another waxing, just showing what difference in the waxes will be another video. But this is a black waxed piece. It's very pretty. So, one of the other things is,
We're gonna have to move you.
I'm a plant person here. Okay. So,
See, we'll kind of.
yeah.
Sorry, we gotta lower you.
I was just going to lift it up. I'm also the plant person, and as such, I tend to plant everything. A couple of the different things that have been planted. This has been painted with a DIY mermaid tail, if I recall. This was done by another painter, local painter here. And so this is a plastic. Ceramic?
I thought it was wood.
No, this one's not wood. I think this one's ceramic. So this is a ceramic container. One of the issues with the paint, you can't paint the inside of anything that you're going to have planted because the paint will melt off. So it'll be pointless. So you have to make sure you have non-porous, or you make it non-porous from the inside surfaces, such as, you know, terracotta pots that are glazed on the inside would be fine, but terracotta pots that aren't, you're going to lose the paint. It's going to come right off. Over time, it may take a couple months, but it will do it. So that's one example. This was, and I say was, this was a popcorn bucket. Has a plastic insert. That's what you would put the popcorn in. You could wash it, but then this is the outside container. This was a popcorn bucket. It's no longer a popcorn bucket. It looks much more glorious. And I know Cassie's really sad. She eats a lot of popcorn. Much more glorious as a fairy garden.
I like fairy gardens too.
Well, this one, they're having a drunken frenzy party.
You can't say that on your video.
Why good? I can say it. I just can't show it. So there are, oh, here's another one.
All right, it's gonna get a little bumpy out. There you go.
Yeah, it's a manufacturing floor. It's not flat. So this is an example. This is an ironstone pitcher, and it just had some really awesome texture to it. And so I kept the texture, but I wanted to jazz it up a bit. And so I painted just the base, the mug, and the handle, and planted it. Again, I plant everything. I don't know why you can't. I plant urinals. I mean, come on. So, would you like to join me in the video?
Maybe.
Yeah, she can do that. I can't do that.
I'm too short. That's what it is.
Speaking of which, I should stand up straight. So,
Do we need to move this around again?
it's fine where it is. Okay. So, I'm hoping that this is a good first introduction to what we have and the different idea of the products that you can use, and we look forward to doing more of these.
And I'll ask more questions next time.
She'll be better prepared. I kind of threw this on her at the last minute, so figured it would be good to have somebody that makes me look really large, actually. So have a good day from Standpipe Antiques and
PS Relics.
PS Relics, and hasta la taco. Maybe.